Hello there, I'm Kyle. I come from a long line of assholes. My father was an asshole, and so was his father before him. I figured who better to give a PSA on assholes than asshole royalty. Alright, I guess I can start this video now. I got places to go. I'm going to teach you about assholes and how to live life with them. While assholes have been on this planet for centuries, in 2012 Professor Aaron James published a book called Assholes, A Theory, which is about assholes and theories on why they are who they are and do what they do. Some assholes are unaware of their behavior, not noticing that they're talking over people or being rude. But there are also assholes who are fully aware that they are being rude and simply don't care. They believe their behavior doesn't negatively affect anyone. And even if they do realize that they're distressing people, they still won't see it as their fault. To assholes, they're either never the problem or don't care if they are. There are two types of assholes, temporary and consistent. We're all guilty of doing something rude or detrimental to others at some point. Being angry at everyone and feeling like they're screaming before you've had your coffee is understandable. These people are just being assholes based on the situation. It isn't a permanent behavior. Now this guy, girl, people is the one you have to look out for. They purposefully demean or annoy others and don't see how anything could be their fault. They're oblivious to what they're doing. Mansplaining or talking over someone to express their own opinions are common examples. They feel entitled to things and will get genuinely offended if they are accused of being wrong or don't get their way. I will be giving you tips on how to deal with this type of asshole. You didn't create that asshole that keeps drinking your apple juice and saying, I didn't see anyone's name on it, but you do have to deal with them. Understand that you did nothing wrong. A great way to keep your sanity is to know that you're better than them because you don't put people down for personal gain. So don't take it personal. People like you because you understand boundaries and respect, unlike that asshole who keeps drinking my apple juice. In my experience, I find that ignoring an asshole helps resolve the situation. Robert Sutton, the author of the Asshole Survivor Guide, explains, quote, that one of the simplest but admittedly hardest things you can do is simply learn not to give a shit. Not giving a shit takes the wind out of an asshole's sails. Think about how a year from now that asshole won't be in your life, but he'll still be the asshole he always was, end quote. Whenever my little brother would try to bother me or annoy me, which I could always tell by his stupid smirk, I would simply not say anything to him. When he saw I wasn't going to entertain him, he would just walk away. I've learned that assholes don't have power unless you give it to them. So keep your power, dummy. Now, like I've said, assholes can be oblivious, so they don't know when they're assholing. They aren't all terrible people. My brother would do anything for me. He really does love me. But he's also an asshole while being a caring sibling. For some people, it just takes being an asshole back to them so they understand that they are doing it to you. Try it. Go to your local asshole, spark up a conversation, and then start talking over them every time they start to talk, and pretend like it's their fault. You should see the frustration and confusion all on their face. Then try to make them understand that they make people feel the way that they're feeling right now when they act like assholes. If they appreciate the feedback and try to change, you just made another good human being in the world. But if they get offended by your advice, then you have an official asshole on your hands, and you should follow tip 2. There is one last way to deal with assholes, but I would advise doing this only if you have nothing to lose or are willing to lose everything. Look, you can't change a person. You can only give them the tools and advice for them to change themselves. You can lead a horse to water, but you can't make them drink it. A lot of assholes are going to keep assholing, but the ones who are more self-aware can be saved. Being self-aware is key. Everyone has a little asshole in them, but being able not to let that assholeness negatively affect the people around you is all people want. I hope these tips help you the next time you encounter an asshole. They're all over the place, so the encounter shouldn't be long. I'm Kyle with your PSA on assholes signing out. Stay classy, Penn State.